I'm now going to just talk about some of the snares that I've used once in a while. Got 3 Dave Weckl models here. I used to have all 5. I had the brass one, but it didn't blow my skirt up. It didn't sound spectacular or anything like that. It was just okay. And for a £700 snare, I thought, well, I could sell that and get some speakers. So I did. I sold that, and I sold the 5-inch version of, or 5.5-inch version of the aluminium one that you see in front of us, because that just sounded like any generic aluminium snare. And I thought, well, I've got this one, which is great for rock, and I've had a Ludwig 400, sounded great, but it was just very ordinary. So anyway, I sold those 2 Dave Weckl snares, and I got myself a nice pair of speakers for my electronic rig. So these are the 3 Weckl snares that I've got left. On the left, we've got a maple 14 by 5 dual snare strainers. You can see there, got 2 snare strainers around this side. Got the butt ends, adjustable at both ends. So this is the looser snare, and this is the tighter snare. There's not a lot of point in me hitting it out here because the microphone on the phone won't do it any justice. But yes, it's got a wooden hoop on it. Why have I put a wooden hoop on it? Well, when I got it, it sounded like any maple snare. But, of course, it did have the added ability to have a loose snare and a tight snare, and to be able to alternate between them, be able to use them both at the same time. But I like the sound of the Anton Fig snare, which I heard there was a guy in Eastbourne that had one, and it sounded great. It had this thwack to it that was kind of like a cricket bat hitting a ball, something that was just kind of different, and I like different. I like something that's just not of the norm, and so I got myself a wooden hoop, put it on top, and wow, what a difference. You can hear the thwack. It's a softer sounding drum. I played a golf course restaurant recently, and I took this wooden snare, and it was perfect in the room because it didn't batter the living daylights out of everybody in the room. The problem with snare drums is they're really loud in comparison to toms and bass drums. So once in a while it's nice to be able to soften that impact, so that it's not eye-watering for the people that are around you. This means, with my bead about an inch in, I get a lovely snare sound. So that rim click is nice and loud. It's got a nice full-bodied tone to it, and it's warm. And so that's that one. The aluminium drum, I tend to have that tuned quite low. This wooden one's actually tuned quite low at the moment because I really love it when it's down there. It sounds like Zorro on the MD DVD when he was demonstrating all of the shuffles, and it's got that sort of vibe to it. It's got this softness, and tuning it down means it has this wonderful sound. The aluminium, that's my go-to rock snare. Sometimes I use a 6.5-inch brass, sometimes I use a 6.5-inch maple for rock, sometimes I use a 5-inch, but this is absolutely fabulous. As hard as I hit it, that lug never detunes. They got the thread right. Dual strainers again, slightly looser, slightly tighter, so I can get articulation, or I can just get nice full-bodied aluminium tone. And I don't tune it tight, because tuning it tight, it doesn't really then get the character. It just sounds like every other drum. But if it's tuned slightly looser, you get that Bonzo, John Bonham sort of thwack that the aluminium gives it. Aluminium's great because it's got a character that's kind of vanilla. It'll work on just about anything. And this drum will work on just about anything. I can use it for pop if I want, just tighten it up. And so that's that one. And I'm just going to pop this one out of the snare basket here, because over here I've got the 13-inch original Dave Weckl snare. Again, loose, tight. I have it so that it's got about medium tightness. I don't get it too tight because otherwise you lose the body of the shell. All you get then is pop. And now here, this is a groove wedge by Yamaha, and that means that a normal rim click sound gets a little bit more body in it. And if you go down to a 12-inch drum, you'll find that your cross stick loses all of its projection, all of its body. It's a waste of time almost. So that gives me a little bit more projection, but at the same time I've got these screws that I've put into it. So now gives me other options. So that's my Weckl snares, and I really like these. I think Yamaha make really good snares. I like Ludwig as well, and I think out of Yamaha and Ludwig, I'd say that Yamaha actually make snares that are as good as Ludwig's, and but that's just my opinion.